Welcome to Calm Mind English. I'm glad you are here tonight. If today felt long, heavy, or tiring, stay here for a little while. You do not have to do anything special right now. You do not have to perform. You do not have to solve your whole life before sleep. Tonight, we are going to slow down together. Maybe your body feels tired. Maybe your mind is still moving. Maybe you worked hard all day, tried to keep up with everything, and still feel like it was not enough. But for this moment, let that pressure rest. You did a lot today, more than other people can see, more than even you may be giving yourself credit for. You worked, you thought, you worried, you tried, you carried responsibilities. And on top of that, you are still trying to learn English. That is not a small thing. It is not easy to live your daily life and build a new language at the same time. It takes energy. It takes patience. It takes emotional strength. So before anything else, I want to tell you this very clearly. You are doing better than you think. Even if your progress feels slow, even if your speaking is not where you want it to be, even if you still feel nervous when you hear fast English, you are not failing. You are learning in the middle of real life. And that kind of learning is hard. But it is also deep. It stays. Tonight, do not think about tests. Do not think about mistakes. Do not think about how far you still need to go. Just listen. Let the words come to you softly. Let the English pass through your tired mind without force. Let your body rest while your ears stay open in a gentle way. You do not need to chase the language tonight. Tonight, the language can come to you. So take one slow breath. And another one. If your shoulders feel tight, let them drop a little. If your jaw is tense, soften it. If your chest feels heavy, do not fight that feeling. Just notice it. And breathe again. This is your quiet time now. Tonight is not about being productive. It is not about proving anything. It is about recovery. It is about calm. It is about giving your nervous system a softer place to land. And while you rest, I will stay here with you in simple English. Little by little, your ears will get used to these words. Little by little, your mind will become more familiar with the rhythm. Little by little, English will stop feeling like a wall and start feeling like a space you can walk into. Not by force, not by stress, but by steady contact. That is one of the beautiful things about learning. Sometimes growth is loud. Sometimes growth is visible. But many times, growth is quiet. It happens while you repeat small things. It happens while you rest. It happens while you think nothing is changing. So if you are tired tonight, that does not mean this time is wasted. Resting is not wasted. Listening softly is not wasted. Coming back again and again is not wasted. This is also part of your progress. Tonight, I want you to imagine that your mind is like water after a long day. When life is busy, the water gets shaken. Thoughts move fast. Worries rise. Small things feel bigger. Everything inside becomes unclear. But when the water is left alone, when there is no shaking, when there is quiet, the surface becomes still again. And slowly, you can see clearly. This is what we are doing tonight. We are not forcing peace. We are simply creating the conditions for peace to return. So if your mind is noisy, that is okay. If you still feel restless, that is okay. If part of you is still thinking about tomorrow, that is okay too. You do not have to become perfectly calm immediately. Just stay here. Let the calm arrive in its own time. Sometimes people think they must control every thought before sleep. But that only creates more struggle. The mind becomes louder when we fight it too hard. A softer way is this. When a thought comes, notice it. When a worry comes, notice it. When a memory comes, notice it. And instead of holding it tightly, let it pass like a cloud moving across the night sky. You do not need to follow every thought. You do not need to answer every fear. You do not need to solve every unfinished feeling at midnight. Some things can wait until morning. Tonight, your first job is rest. And there is something else I want you to remember. Being tired does not mean you are weak. Being mentally full does not mean you are broken. Feeling emotionally worn out does not mean you are doing life badly. Sometimes it simply means you have been carrying a lot. Maybe more than you say. Maybe more than people around you understand. Maybe more than you even admit to yourself. So tonight, let your tiredness be seen. Not judged. Not hidden. Just seen. You can say quietly to yourself, yes, today was hard. Yes, I am tired. Yes, I need gentleness tonight. That is not giving up. That is honesty. And honesty can be healing. Now, as we stay together in this calm space, I want to speak to the part of you that feels behind. The part that compares. The part that says, I should be better by now. I should be stronger by now. My English should be better by now. My life should be more organized by now. That part of you is tired too. And maybe it has been using pressure because it thinks pressure will protect you. Maybe it believes that if it pushes you hard enough, you will finally become enough. But pressure is not always the answer. Sometimes pressure only makes the heart smaller. Sometimes it steals energy that you actually need for real growth. Tonight, you do not need to become enough. You already have enough value to rest. Let that sentence sit with you for a moment. You already have enough value to rest. Not because you finished everything. Not because you were perfect. Not because tomorrow is guaranteed to be easy. But because you are human. Because tired minds need peace. Because tired bodies need warmth. Because exhausted hearts need somewhere safe to soften. And for a little while tonight, let this be that safe place. As you listen, I want you to notice the simple English we are using. Nothing too difficult. Nothing too sharp. Nothing rushed. This is how healing English can feel. English does not always need to be fast, hard, academic, or stressful. It can also be calm. It can be slow. It can meet you where you are. You can learn through comfort too. You can learn through repetition. You can learn through listening. You can learn through soft attention. You can learn even when your eyes are closed. Maybe not all at once. Maybe not in a dramatic way, but steadily. Your brain is always learning patterns. It learns sound. It learns rhythm. It learns familiar sentence shapes. It learns emotional meaning connected to words. So when you hear simple English again and again in a peaceful state, something is still happening inside you. The language becomes less strange, less cold, less distant. And that matters. Because one of the hardest parts of learning English is not only grammar or vocabulary. It is fear. It is tension. It is the feeling that English is something outside you. Tonight, I want English to feel closer, warmer, safer. Not a test, not a wall, not a threat. Just language, just sound, just meaning, just a companion while you rest. So if you are listening after a hard day, I hope you let yourself receive this message. You worked hard today. You really did. Even if the world did not clap, even if nobody said thank you, even if your effort looked ordinary from the outside, you still used your energy. You still gave something. You still kept moving. And now you deserve a slower rhythm. Maybe your feet are tired from standing. Maybe your hands are tired from work. Maybe your back is tired. Maybe your head feels full. Maybe your emotions feel quiet now only because they are exhausted. Whatever shape your tiredness takes, you do not need to hide it here. You can rest honestly. And as the night becomes deeper, I want to help your body feel the message your mind needs. The day is ending. You do not need to run anymore tonight. You do not need to answer every message. You do not need to think about every plan. You do not need to replay every conversation. You do not need to keep carrying the emotional noise of the day into sleep. You can begin putting things down. Put down the pressure. Put down the unfinished list. Put down the small regrets. Put down the self-criticism. Put down the fear that you are not improving fast enough. Just for tonight. You can pick up what matters tomorrow. But right now, let your hands be empty. An empty hand can finally rest. An empty mind can finally breathe. So breathe again. Slowly in. Slowly out. If your thoughts are still moving, do not be upset with yourself. It is normal. This is what tired minds do. They keep spinning because they think spinning will keep life under control. But control is not the same as peace. Peace often begins when we stop trying to hold everything together by force. Now I want to guide you into a softer image. Imagine that the day is a coat you have been wearing. A heavy coat. A coat full of noise, duties, pressure, conversations, effort, and hidden stress. Tonight, you can take that coat off. You do not have to sleep wearing the whole day. Let it slide off your shoulders. Let it fall beside you. The day happened. You lived it. You carried it. And now you can set it down. You are allowed to end the day gently. Some people end the day with more worry, more screens, more tension, more rushing. But tonight, let this be different. Tonight, end the day with softness, with simple words, with slow breathing, with quiet acceptance. You made it here. That is enough for tonight. And before we move deeper into rest, I want to leave you with a few simple truths. You do not need to earn sleep. You do not need to earn calm. You do not need to be perfect to recover. You do not need to have everything figured out to deserve peace. And you do not need to master English overnight. Learning is allowed to be gradual. Healing is allowed to be gradual. Change is allowed to be gradual. The seed does not become a tree in one night. The sky does not become bright in 1 second. The heart does not become peaceful through force. Real change often arrives quietly. So tonight, trust quiet progress. Trust repeated listening. Trust familiar words. Trust small improvement. Trust the power of returning gently, even when you feel tired, even when you feel discouraged, even when you are not sure it is working. Especially then, because often, the person who keeps coming back softly goes farther than the person who pushes hard and burns out. You do not need to burn out to grow. You can grow calmly too. Stay here. Rest here. Learn here. Tonight, we will keep going slowly. We will let the mind loosen. We will let the body feel safer. We will let the heart hear kinder words. And we will let English become part of that peaceful space. For now, just listen to this one sentence inside yourself. I did enough for today. Again, I did enough for today. And one more time. I did enough for today. Let those words settle into you. The day is over. You are here. You are safe enough for this moment. You are tired, and that is understandable. You are learning, and that is meaningful. You are resting, and that is wise. So stay with the sound of these simple words. Let them wrap around the edges of your tired mind. Tonight, you do not need to fight. Tonight, you do not need to hurry. Tonight, you do not need to become someone else. Tonight, you only need to rest, and let gentle English stay beside you. Now, as the night becomes quieter, let us go a little deeper. The outside world may still be busy somewhere. Cars may still move. Lights may still be on. People may still be working, talking, rushing, deciding, planning. But here, in this moment, you do not need to join that movement. You are allowed to become still. Still does not mean empty. Still does not mean nothing is happening. Still means you are no longer being pulled in every direction. And that kind of stillness can heal more than people realize. Many people live in a state of hidden tension. Their bodies look calm, but inside, they are always preparing, always reacting, always bracing, always carrying the next thing before the current thing is even over. Maybe you know that feeling. You finish one task, and your mind is already in the next task. You lie down, but your body still feels like it is standing. You try to rest, but part of your mind keeps scanning for problems. That is exhausting. It is hard to sleep deeply when the nervous system still believes it must stay on duty. So tonight, we are not only trying to think calm thoughts, we are helping the body receive a quieter message. The work is over for now. The danger is not here in this moment. The pressure can loosen. The body can stop guarding every second. If that feels difficult, do not worry. You do not have to force your body to trust the night. You can guide it slowly. Sometimes the body needs repetition. Sometimes it needs gentle reminders. Sometimes it needs many quiet nights before it truly begins to soften. That is okay. So let me give your body a few simple messages tonight. You can unclench now. You can soften now. You can stop holding your breath now. You can let the bed, the chair, or the pillow hold some of your weight. You do not have to carry yourself so tightly every moment. Notice how often you may be holding tension without meaning to. In your forehead, in your neck, in your shoulders, in your stomach, in your hands. If you notice tension, do not judge it. Tension is often just the body's way of saying, I have been dealing with a lot. So instead of fighting the tension, answer it with kindness. You can rest now. You can be supported now. You can be quiet now. You can stop proving now. There are nights when the hardest thing is not physical tiredness. It is emotional tiredness. You may not even have the energy to explain it. You just feel heavy, flat, sensitive, drained. You want peace, but your heart still feels crowded. If that is you tonight, this part is for you. Emotional tiredness is real. It does not always come from one big event. Sometimes it comes from many small things, many responsibilities, many adjustments, many moments of swallowing your feelings, many days of trying to stay strong, many times of smiling when you were actually tired, many little disappointments that had no place to go. Those things collect. And after a while, the heart feels full. If your heart feels full tonight, you do not need to empty it all at once. You do not need to understand every feeling before sleep. Just tell yourself the truth. I have been carrying a lot. That sentence alone can bring relief. Because sometimes pain grows bigger when it is unnamed. When we finally name it, something inside us exhales. So if you need it, whisper this inside yourself. I have been carrying a lot. Again, I have been carrying a lot. And because that is true, it makes sense that I feel tired. It makes sense that I need gentleness. It makes sense that I need rest. It makes sense that my heart wants quiet. Nothing is wrong with you for feeling worn out. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not falling apart just because you feel emotionally low. You may simply be a human being who has been trying very hard for a very long time. And tonight, instead of demanding more from yourself, try giving yourself what you actually need. A slower voice, a softer thought, a kinder standard, a little less inner pressure, a little more room to breathe. Sometimes healing begins not when life gets easier, but when the way we speak to ourselves becomes gentler. So listen carefully to the tone of your inner voice tonight. Is it harsh? Is it disappointed? Is it impatient? Is it always measuring, always correcting, always pushing? That voice may think it is helping, but maybe it is only making you more tired. You do not need to attack yourself into growth. You do not need to shame yourself into improvement. You do not need to fear your way into a better future. There is another way, a steadier way, a calmer way, a way with honesty but not cruelty, discipline but not self-hatred, effort but not endless inner punishment. That is the kind of growth I hope you build. And that is the kind of English learning I hope becomes yours. Because many people try to learn English through pressure. They tell themselves, if I do not improve fast, I am failing. If I make mistakes, I look foolish. If I do not understand everything, I am not good enough. That fear closes the mind. It makes listening harder. It makes speaking tighter. It makes the language feel dangerous. But tonight, let us remove that fear. English is not here to judge you tonight. English is not here to embarrass you. English is not here to remind you of what you lack. Tonight, English is here to stay beside you, to become familiar, to become lighter, to become something your mind can meet with less fear. That is why this slow listening matters. You are building comfort with the language. You are building emotional safety around the language. You are teaching your brain, this sound is not a threat. This language is not my enemy. I can stay relaxed while I hear it. That matters more than you may realize. Because a relaxed brain learns differently from a frightened brain. A calm mind notices patterns. A calm mind absorbs rhythm. A calm mind opens. A calm mind remembers. Not perfectly, not instantly, but more naturally. So as you listen tonight, remember this. You do not need to understand every sentence. You do not need to catch every word. You do not need to stay alert like you are taking an exam. Just stay near the language. Let your ears recognize. Let your mind rest in the sound. Let the repetition work quietly in the background. This is not lazy learning. This is gentle learning. And gentle does not mean weak. Gentle things can still change us deeply. Think about water. Water is soft. Water is quiet. Water does not look aggressive. But over time, water can shape stone. That is how calm repetition works too. One night may feel small. One listening session may feel small. One simple sentence may feel small. But over time, they shape you. They shape how you hear. They shape how you think. They shape how you respond. They shape how afraid or comfortable you feel with the language. So never underestimate the quiet work. Now I want to speak to the part of you that feels lonely in your effort. Sometimes learning English can feel lonely. Sometimes trying to build a life can feel lonely. Sometimes carrying responsibility can feel lonely. You may be doing many things no one fully sees. You may be improving in ways no one claps for. You may be surviving seasons that nobody around you understands. That can make the night feel especially quiet. If that loneliness is with you tonight, I hope you remember this. Quiet does not always mean you are alone. Sometimes quiet is simply where healing begins. And even now, as you listen, there is a kind of companionship in these words. A gentle voice saying, "Rest. You have done enough for now. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to recover. You are allowed to grow slowly." Maybe that is what your heart needed to hear tonight. Not more advice, not more pressure, not another lecture. Just permission. Permission to stop. Permission to soften. Permission to not have all the answers before sleep. Many people are hard on themselves at the end of the day. They review what went wrong. They replay awkward moments. They remember what they forgot to do. They measure themselves by what is unfinished. Tonight, let us try something different. Before sleep, instead of asking, "What did I fail at?" ask, "What did I carry today?" Maybe you carried work stress. Maybe you carried family responsibility. Maybe you carried language anxiety. Maybe you carried private sadness. Maybe you carried uncertainty about the future. Maybe you carried simple tiredness for many hours. That carrying matters. And when a person has carried a lot, rest is not a reward. It is a need. So let tonight be need-based, not guilt-based. Do not rest because you earned perfect marks today. Rest because you are a living person with limits. Limits are not shameful. They are human. And humans need cycles. Effort and rest. Focus and release. Speaking and silence. Trying and receiving. If your whole life becomes only effort, the heart dries out. The mind becomes hard. The body starts speaking through fatigue. So tonight, listen to that fatigue with respect. It may be saying, "Please stop pushing me for a little while." That is not failure. That is wisdom. And now let us make the night even softer. Imagine that each breath is like warm water moving through your tired body. Not dramatic, not magical, just gentle warmth. With each inhale, the body receives space. With each exhale, some of the day leaves. A little pressure leaves. A little noise leaves. A little self-criticism leaves. A little rushing leaves. You do not need all the heaviness to disappear at once. Even a small release matters. A small release is still relief. And relief matters. Tonight, relief may look like unclenching your hands. It may look like loosening your face. It may look like no longer arguing with your thoughts. It may look like hearing simple English and allowing that to be enough. Enough is an important word tonight. Enough breathing. Enough listening. Enough softness. Enough rest. Enough effort for one day. The world often teaches us more. More speed. More achievement. More comparison. More output. More pressure. But tonight, the healing word is not more. It is enough. You are allowed to stop at enough. You are allowed to sleep before everything feels complete. You are allowed to improve without attacking yourself. You are allowed to learn English through repetition, patience, and time. Time matters. Kindness matters. Consistency matters. Harshness is not the only thing that creates results. And before we continue, let these lines settle into you like a quiet blanket. I do not need to rush tonight. I do not need to fix everything tonight. I do not need to be perfect tonight. I only need to rest and let this gentle English stay with me. Again, I do not need to rush tonight. I do not need to fix everything tonight. I do not need to be perfect tonight. I only need to rest and let this gentle English stay with me. Very slowly, the heart begins to believe what it hears often. So let it hear this often. Let it hear calm words. Let it hear permission. Let it hear simple truth. You are tired. You are trying. You are learning. You are allowed to sleep. Stay here with that. Let the words become softer and softer inside you. The night is not asking you to do more. The night is asking you to let go. As we move toward deeper rest, I want to leave your mind with quiet, steady thoughts. Not loud motivation, not strong commands, just truths that tired hearts can hold. Tomorrow does not need to be carried tonight. This is important. Many people go to bed while secretly dragging tomorrow into the room. Tomorrow's tasks, tomorrow's worries, tomorrow's possible failures, tomorrow's conversations, tomorrow's unknowns. And then the body lies down, but the mind keeps walking. Tonight, let tomorrow stay where it belongs. In tomorrow, you do not have to live it early. You do not have to rehearse every possible problem. You do not have to hold the future in your hands while trying to sleep. The future will come when it comes. And when it does, you will meet it then. Not now. Now is for rest. This moment is small. This moment is simple. This moment is enough. You are here. You are breathing. You are listening. The night is around you. And nothing else is required right now. Sometimes peace comes when life changes. But sometimes peace comes before life changes, because we finally stop carrying more than this moment. So return to this moment again. This bed, this chair, this room, this breath, this voice, these simple words. Let your mind come back from all the distant places it went today. Come back from regret. Come back from worry. Come back from comparison. Come back from pressure. Come back from trying to control what you cannot control. Come back here. You are here now. And here, for this little while, you can let yourself be simple again. Not a role, not a title, not a worker, not a planner, not a problem solver, not a person trying to impress anyone. Just a human being at night, breathing, resting, listening, recovering. There is deep healing in becoming simple again. Because life can make us tight. It can turn us into functions. It can make us feel useful only when we are performing. It can make us forget that our value is deeper than our output. But at night, especially in quiet moments like this, you can return to a more basic truth. You are allowed to exist without proving. You are allowed to rest without explaining. You are allowed to sleep without permission from pressure. Let that truth soften your body. And now, I want to speak gently to your future self. Maybe you want to become more fluent in English. Maybe you want to feel more confident speaking. Maybe you want to understand more naturally. Maybe you want to stop feeling afraid of mistakes. Maybe you want to build a calmer, stronger mind. Those are beautiful goals. But please remember this. The future version of you is not built only in moments of intense effort. It is also built in moments like this. Moments when you come back. Moments when you listen again. Moments when you choose patience instead of self-hate. Moments when you rest instead of burning yourself empty. Moments when you let learning become part of your life gently, not violently. These quiet moments count. They count because they shape your relationship with growth. They shape whether progress feels like punishment or partnership. They shape whether you keep going or give up from exhaustion. So tonight, this calm time is not separate from your progress. It is part of it. This is how sustainable growth begins. A pace you can return to. A method you can live with. A tone that does not break your spirit. And I hope you build many things this way. Not only English, also your mindset, also your daily life, also the way you speak to yourself when no one else is around. Because the private voice matters. The quiet habits matter. The small repeated nights matter. Over time, they become a life. And maybe one day, you will look back and realize something important. You did not grow through panic. You did not grow through endless shame. You did not grow because you hated yourself enough. You grew because you stayed, because you kept returning, because you learned to be both honest and kind, because you stopped making growth feel like a war. That is real strength. Now let the next few thoughts become very soft. You are safe enough to rest in this moment. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to be learning. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to sleep before everything makes sense. You are allowed to trust that not all progress is visible tonight. Some progress is happening quietly. Some progress is happening in your nervous system. Some progress is happening in your listening. Some progress is happening in your emotional recovery. Some progress is happening in your willingness to come back again. That is enough. Now, if your mind still wants to hold on to something, give it something simple to hold. A few calm English lines. Tonight, I rest. Tonight, I let go. Tonight, I breathe slowly. Tonight, I do not rush. Tonight, I do not fight every thought. Tonight, I let simple English stay with me. Tomorrow, I can begin again. Again, slowly. Tonight, I rest. Tonight, I let go. Tonight, I breathe slowly. Tonight, I do not rush. Tonight, I do not fight every thought. Tonight, I let simple English stay with me. Tomorrow, I can begin again. There is something very peaceful about beginning again. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just honestly. If today felt messy, you can begin again tomorrow. If your English felt difficult today, you can begin again tomorrow. If your emotions felt heavy today, you can begin again tomorrow. If you were too hard on yourself today, you can begin again tomorrow. That is one of the gifts of sleep. Sleep creates distance. Sleep clears noise. Sleep gives the mind another chance. So do not be afraid to let the day end. Some people keep revisiting the day because they think that is how they stay responsible. But often, they are only staying trapped. Responsibility does not require endless replay. Wisdom knows when to stop. Tonight, stop kindly. Not because nothing matters, but because you matter too. Your recovery matters. Your peace matters. Your brain matters. Your body matters. Your inner life matters. And you will carry yourself better tomorrow if you stop hurting yourself tonight. Now the voice gets softer. The room gets quieter. The sentences get simpler. You are resting. You are breathing. You are here. The day is done. The work is done for now. The trying is done for now. The thinking can become lighter now. The body can become heavier now. Heavier in the good way. The sleepy way. The safe way. The way that lets the bed hold you. If there are still thoughts, let them float farther away. You do not need to push them. Distance is enough. If there are still feelings, let them be quiet beside you. You do not need to solve them tonight. Space is enough. If there is still tension, let it melt little by little. You do not need immediate perfection. A small softening is enough. Everything tonight can be little by little. Little by little, the jaw relaxes. Little by little, the shoulders drop. Little by little, the breath slows. Little by little, the heart becomes quieter. Little by little, the mind stops reaching so far. Little by little, sleep comes closer. And while sleep comes closer, let these final thoughts stay with you. You worked hard today. You carried a lot today. You tried in ways that matter. And now you deserve warmth. You deserve quiet. You deserve deep rest. And yes, even in sleep, you can keep becoming more familiar with English. Not because you are forcing yourself, but because you are staying close to the language in a gentle, repeated way. So as you drift, Let the sound of simple English feel like a soft light, not bright, not demanding, just steady. A soft light beside your tired mind. Something that says, you do not have to do this alone. You do not have to rush. You do not have to become fluent tonight. Just rest. Just listen. Just let your mind grow familiar, little by little. This is enough for tonight. More than enough. So now, let the words slow down inside you. Let your body become quiet. Let the day move farther away. Let sleep come without fear. Let tomorrow wait. Let yourself be held by this moment. And if you remember only one thing from tonight, remember this. You do not need to push harder tonight. You need rest. You need gentleness. You need peace. And from that peace, you will rise again. Slowly, steadily, more healed, more settled, more ready. Not perfect, but renewed. So sleep now, if sleep is near. Rest now, if rest is near. And let this final message stay with you like a whisper. You did well today. You are allowed to stop now. You are allowed to sleep now. You are allowed to learn gently. You are allowed to heal gently. You are allowed to begin again tomorrow. Good night. Rest deeply, and let your tired mind become quiet, one soft breath at a time.